Hassan walked through the streets, and it smelled so good in the street. It smelled good of beef stew and what else it was. It was the restaurant of Osman. And Hassan felt the hunger in his stomach. And you see, the coins he had in his pocket, they were just not enough for a meal at Osman's restaurant. In his other pocket, he had a bit of bread. It was yesterday's bread. It was hard as stones. But then he had an idea. Osman's pots and pans were very close to the road. If he took his bit of bread and he held it over the steaming fumes of the stew, well, he was burning his fingers a little bit, but gradually the bit of bread was softening, going mushy, and if he took a bite, he almost could imagine he was eating meat. So he took a second bite. What are you doing? Osman had appeared at the door of his restaurant. I'm having a bite. I saw what you're doing. That's my fumes. So pay up. Yeah. What's in your hand? Sawdust? Come on. I'm not paying for fumes. Oh, yes, you do. It went one against the other. It got louder. It got harsher. The people who had been sitting in the restaurant came out to see what was going on. There were other people that were on their way to the restaurant. They also stopped. There was forming a crowd, and in the middle, those two men shouting at each other. Then one person looked over his shoulder and he saw Nasredin Hodja. Well, you may remember who he is. He is wise, he is smart, he is learned. And at that time, he had just been appointed judge. So who else to ask to settle this problem? Called him, and he came. He looked at the two men gravely. Osman, tell me. So Osman told him the story. And obviously, he said, this man has to pay me. Hassan, what's your story? Hassan had the same story. But of course, he must be mad thinking I have to pay him for that. Do you have any money? Asked the Hodja. Hassan got into his bag. He showed him the money. It was a few copper coins. Let me have it, said the Hodja. And all right, Hassan gave him the money. And the Hodja took it in his hand and he shook his hand. Well, I won't say it was tingling. You know, copper coins don't really tingle, but you had this sound of the money. Osman, said Hodja, how do you like that sound? I love it. Best sound in the world. Let me have that money. Bah, not so hasty. The Hodja shook it again. Nice, Osman? Sure, best music in the world. Give it to me. The Hodja shook it again. I love it, said Osman. Right, said the Hodja. If that's the case, I think the smell of food has been amply paid by the sound of money. The crowd started to cheer and laugh and clap. And Osman, well, you know, it's not good economics to disagree with your customers. So he retired into the restaurant and Hassan finished his bread. Thank you.